being born in a different country, especially a country like Cuba, that is so isolated, they just choose to make their people suffer and control. And that's how we were too. I'm a college dropout. I was working on my bachelor's degree, and then I decided to drop out and, pursue makeup.
Okay.
100%. That's
What were you
best
studying?
decision.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Elevate. My name is Jessica.
My name is Jarwin.
And today we're going to talk about...
Which camera am I?
Sorry. Which is our camera?
This one?
So this one, it don't matter. You be talking to us. So.
Okay, so hi.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So if you want to say something though to like your public, you can look at that one. Like that one's
At
yours.
this
Yeah,
one?
and it'll
Okay.
be like you looking at them.
All
And
right,
then that
awesome.
one is just all of us.
Hi, guys. My name is Jen.
We're going to talk all about makeup and who is Jennifer Mendez, right?
Damn, she said my whole government.
Jennifer Mendez, right?
Yes.
Okay.
On
Don't
IG,
call me
better known
Jennifer.
as
They'll
what?
call me Jen. We're family.
Ay, qué linda.
No, Jennifer makes me feel like my mom is mad at me or something. Like I'm traumatized.
Better
So
known
Jen.
as Makeup by Jen on IG. Makeup by Jen, XIIXII.
Yeah, Roman numerals.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Who's Jennifer or Jen?
Complicated question, huh? I don't know. I like to think of myself as someone who's like very loving, very caring. I'm always grinding, ambitious, very humble, family oriented, very grounded. And I feel like, my relationship, my family, like my work, my career, like that's what I'm all about. I basically have no time for anything else.
You are definitely about that grind, girl. Ever since I found this girl, she's been on her grind. But for those for those people who don't know what you do, you are a makeup artist, full time,
Yes.
and I see you focus on brides. But do you just do brides or you do everything?
Right now, yeah, it's mainly just
Brides.
weddings.
She's amazing, you guys. If you guys haven't seen her work, we're gonna put her Instagram on
you.
on the screen. And for those of you who are listening, is Makeup by Jen, XIXIXII.
It's basically
XII.
1210 with extra 2 I's at the end in Roman numerals.
Okay.
Okay.
Because my old Instagram actually got deleted. Like
I
the
heard about that.
original
Yeah,
Instagram that
yeah.
I had when I started my business, that one got deleted by Instagram. I have no idea why. But then that one was just 1210 at the end. And it was because that's my boyfriend's birthday.
Mhm.
And it was his idea for me to do this.
Nice.
So I wanted
there's
to
a
include
meaning behind
him.
this.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So I wanted to include him in my name in a
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
I felt like that was really special for him. So
That's cool.
Amazing.
Shout out to hubby.
shout out to Rock.
He's a big part of what you do.
Huge.
From the minute I found you, I found her on YouTube, like maybe before the pandemic. It was like maybe 3 years ago, 3 or 4
Yeah,
years
I
ago.
feel like we've
Yeah.
been following each other for a long time.
Yeah, because it was prior to the pandemic that I found you. I found her on YouTube. I don't know how I stumbled upon your video.
I could tell you how.
How? How was it?
Because I was gonna buy you the vanity,
Oh,
the mirror.
Really?
And you had-
oh my God, that's so funny.
So you had the best review.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
because you had the long mirror, and I was like,
Yes.
nobody on YouTube has this. So like, we watched that whole series. That
that's
whole
how we
build-out.
filmed it.
Yeah.
Yes. And I saw how you guys worked as a team. And from that point on, I found your Instagram and I was like, oh my God, this girl is in New York. I think you
Yeah.
were living in New York at that time.
I've always lived in New York.
Right.
I'm a New Yorker for life.
And I was just like, let me follow her. Like, she just gave me such great vibes.
Yeah.
Like,
Likewise.
And I was like, I need to follow this girl because we need to meet each other. Mind you guys, we've been following each other for a little while now, but we just met. Today.
I know.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy. And I just want to take a moment because not only praising me, let's praise you for a second
Okay.
because this girl makes me laugh all the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank
Like
you.
those reels that you be posting, oh my God, do not stop. I'm telling you, you're funny. Like my boyfriend had to be looking like, what are you laughing? I'm like, this girl, man, she's the craziest, the craziest little
Thank
reels.
you
It's
so
so
much.
cute.
I
love it.
appreciate that. I enjoy making those. I really do.
Yeah.
I've always said that when you can make people laugh, you have a gift.
Yeah.
I've always said that. So good for you.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Well, okay. So let's talk a little bit about your makeup. So you said you focus more on brides.
Yes.
Why is that? Is there a reason why you focus on brides?
Aside from that, absolutely. I feel like when I first started, I started like towards the end of November of 2017. Okay. That's when I started as a makeup artist. So essentially my first year I started September 10th, 2017. That was my first client. And basically, you know, it was like I had a client here, I had a client there. But in 2018 was when I actually started to take clients, you know, every weekend, you know, and I had another job aside from doing makeup. So makeup was...
We're gonna go into that.
Makeup was like my side hustle, you could say, at the time. And then I was just doing all occasions. And out of nowhere, I get a client, like I would say early 2018. Yeah, like early 2018. I get these two Pakistani clients, and they're going to their sister's wedding, and I'm doing their makeup. And all of a sudden, their sister, the bride, calls them crying that she hated her makeup, and if I had availability to do her makeup.
That's a terrible feeling as a bride. Wow.
Yes. So she basically went to my house. If I tell you what I charged that girl for bridal makeup back then, you will laugh.
I want to know now. I'm curious.
I charged her like $50.
Wow. She got a deal.
I had no idea what the hell I was doing, but that's how it is in every business venture. Yes. Like you go in and, you know, I didn't really do my research with pricing in the beginning. I was just kind of winging it. Yeah. So I was just like, you know what? Whatever. I'll just charge $50. I mean, she came to me. It's not a big deal. So that was my first bride ever. I removed her entire makeup. Did it again. She loved it. That was my first bride. And from there, it was like, you know, it took off. And 2018, after I did that bride, I did my research on wedding makeup because I felt so fulfilled aside from like money. Because at the time I wasn't really making a lot of money. Okay. But it was such a fulfilling feeling, like her reaction and how happy she felt. Like, I mean, people are getting married. It's like one of the most important days of their lives. Like emotions. Yes. There's a lot of pressure that comes for vendors. Yeah, absolutely. So, like having that ability to have somebody, make somebody feel beautiful, confident
on that special day.
Yeah,
and it's an honor to be chosen as the makeup artist for that day.
Exactly. It's an honor, and I'm so thankful every single day. And not only like the money's great, of course, because I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, no, it's because I love what I do. You know, I love what I do. I feel fulfilled in my career. Like I get out of bed, like ready to go. Like I'm excited, you know? Yeah. I'm excited because working weddings is such good vibes. And I'm all about vibes, energy. Like I feed off of that to like do everything in my life. So 95% of the time when you work a wedding is always good energy. Yeah. And the fulfillment side of my career, that's why I chose to continue in the wedding industry too.
Yeah, and you fit right in.
Thank you.
Your personality
Thank you so much.
It's everything, you know, like.
Thank you.
You just have to have that type of personality, especially weddings. Like you said, it's such a special day. You want everyone to kind of work together to make that day even more special for that bride. And I can tell that you always fulfill that for that bride. You know, the face on those brides, they just look so happy.
I cater to them. That's what it is. Like I get there and immediately I start catering to them. Did you eat? Go brush your teeth. Blow your nose. Let me take care of your face, your skin. Like, I cater to those girls. Like, it's not just, sit in my chair, I'll do your makeup. No, like, throughout the whole morning.
You give them an experience.
Yes, I am taking care of them. I'm like, I keep them updated with the time. We're on time. Are you okay? Do you need anything? Like, that is the entire service, the entire experience I give these girls.
She needs a round of applause for that, please. Thank you very much. Because I know some of you might be listening and you might be thinking, well, that's how it should be. But that's not always what you get.
Yep. Absolutely not.
You get what you pay for.
That's not always what you get. So I don't know how much you're charging right now. Do you want to share that? Or is that like on a...
It changes yearly, you know?
Whatever it is that she charges, she's worth every penny. Okay?
Definitely not $50. Definitely not $50.
Okay, so prior to you becoming a makeup artist, what were you doing? Like, did you have a regular 9 to 5 at some point? First of all, can you share how old you are? Do you want to?
31.
31. Oh, okay.
Yes.
So we're like around the same age.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. 90s babies. So yeah, I was working at a mental health clinic.
Okay.
And I was I was being exploited in that clinic. I was going to college at the time.
Okay.
So I was working on my bachelor's degree.
Okay.
So I'm a college dropout.
Okay.
I was working on my bachelor's degree, and then I decided to drop out and, pursue makeup.
Okay.
100%. That's
what were
the
you
best
studying
decision.
in college?
Finance and banking.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I have an associate in business administration.
Okay.
And that's why I was working in the clinic, because I was the clinic administrator. And I was also doing medical billing, and I was doing translations, and I was doing clinical chart reviewing, and it was like 6 positions for like nothing.
I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what made you take the leap? Like, when you took your first client, was you still working the 9 to 5?
No, I wasn't. So that was kind of the thing. Everything kind of like lined up so good. And I feel like when you're meant to do something and I feel like your path is written.
Yeah.
My mom always told me that. And it's like, your path is written, just follow it. Follow your instinct, wherever that takes you.
Whatever
just
works out so smoothly is like, that was meant to be.
Yes. And I mean, things are not always smooth. You're going to face obstacles. And then as a resilient person, you have to either choose to look at it positive or negative. Yeah. So I was in a really negative time working at that clinic because I was a college student trying to make ends meet. I had no financial aid. So I was paying my way through college. So I would go to college. I would wake up. I had no car at the time. So I would have to wake up like at 5 a.m. to be in college by 7 a.m. I would finish at 1 and take a bus and train all the way to work all the way to 10 p.m.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's tough.
You needed mental health therapy at that point.
Who you telling? Oh my God. It was anxiety to the fullest when I was working there. And then one day I got a call because when I was in college in one of my classes, I was helping out a friend with an internship she was doing for Sirius XM. And it was all like radio station, entertainment, interviewing artists, setting up concerts and everything. So I was just helping her out. They liked my personality. And one of the guys actually called me when I was like up to here with that clinic job, right? So he called me and he's like, hey, I remember you worked a concert with us. I was wondering if you'd like to work for this liquor company that I'm working, doing promotional modeling.
Okay. She did that.
You did that? No way. Stop. That I didn't know. That's crazy. Another thing.
I know, right? Like, what else?
So I started doing that. I was like, okay, the money's great. Let's do it. It's so easy. It's so fun. And that's actually how I met my boyfriend.
Okay.
Because I went to do a liquor demo and he was a liquor store manager.
Okay.
So, he helped me out. Set up a table for me. And that's actually how we met. So everything I told you, everything lines up.
Yeah.
And that job allowed me to pursue makeup. Because I had the free time.
Right.
And everything started on social media. Like, literally, my business just started. Oh, my boyfriend and I were in a restaurant, Tequila Sunrise. I'm never going to forget that. And it was like a date night, and I decided to like do my full face of makeup, eyeshadow and all. And every time I would do my makeup when we would go out, girls would always come up to me and be like, oh, are you a makeup artist? Your makeup is beautiful. And I always said no. That night that happened, and we were having a conversation. Oh, I was telling him I feel stuck in this job. Like, I can't take this anymore. It was just one of those conversations. The I'm lost conversation, you know?
Yeah. I don't know what to do.
Yes, exactly. And then he's like, out of nowhere, he just said, you've never thought about working for Sephora, MAC, or something like that, since you love makeup so much? And I'm like, absolutely not. Because I hate retail. Like, with a passion. With a passion. And when you work for Sephora or MAC, those stores train you to do their style of makeup.
And
So
you always have to do sales. It's like sales.
Yes, it's all focused on sales. You lose sight of your art,
Right.
Because you're so focused on like making
What is
ends
what.
meet with the money, So that was not like part of what I wanted to do. So I always followed Amrezy on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
And I know Amrezy's story. She started on Instagram too.
Mm-hmm.
And she was, she was an influencer mostly. But I was like, you know what? Let me just open up an Instagram account, do my makeup, post my makeup, and then post appointments available. That's it. That's all I had to do.
We literally started the same way.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So you're self-taught too?
Yeah.
Wow,
I am.
that's insane,
I am.
girl.
And the same thing happened to me, except for the fact that I never took it full time. It was always my side hustle, and now I'm not doing it. But because we're trying to focus on other things. But that's exactly what happened to me. It was just something that like I did my makeup, and people would come to me like, "Oh my God, I like how you do your makeup," and I was just like, you know what? Why don't I just do this like on the side? People like how I do it, and listen, I look at the pictures now from back then, and I'm like,
so do I.
What the hell was I thinking?
Exactly. Same.
But people liked it, and it gave me that confidence and that boost to continue to learn more on how to get better, and I would just learn from people on the internet. And
It's crazy because when I was first learning, when I first got into makeup, I was like 14. So there was no YouTube like that, Damn, that makes me sound old as hell. But there was no YouTube like that, So I didn't really learn from YouTube. I would literally save pictures that I would find on MySpace. Like those makeup aesthetic pictures with the colors and everything. So I would save those pictures and
try
then
to recreate it.
Yes. Try to recreate it in front of my mirror. Like I would look at the computer, look at the mirror and try to recreate it. Y yo me hacía unos regueros. Like what I would do to my face.
We got some where she got like the blue eyeshadow. Like she got a black and blue.
Yo estaba acabando back then. Like you can't tell me nothing. I was cute.
For real. We thought we were edgy. No, girl. No, sis. That was bad. Those were bad times. But that's how you learn.
It is.
That's how you learn.
You just have to start when you become passionate about something. You just have to go for it, And with time, you just get better. That's just what happens.
But was it really bad, or is it just
the
that
times?
the time now everybody's so good that you're like,
I think
damn,
about
that was
that
really
sometimes.
I feel like my strong suit has always been the skin. Like I've always been good at doing skin. So my skin work has always been really good.
Very.
But the eyeshadow, oh my God, when I was first started to learn, it was like over here. Like it was one of those. It was bad. But it's how you learn and trial and error. I mean, isn't like that with everything?
Right. Everything.
It's like that with everything in life. With trial and error,
everything.
A few times.
And you can't judge yourself so harshly. Like, please don't judge yourself so harshly, especially when you're starting out on something. You have to have that confidence. Because look at us how we talk about our old work right now. But back then, it was like,
we thought we were killing it.
Okay.
Well, people were paying for it. Like people were paying for that.
Yes, right. And also when you start something.
Well, when I was that bad, I wasn't a makeup artist. I was learning. So when I first started, I was good. I was already good. I didn't want to charge people, but I wasn't as good as now. I feel like even from last year, I compare my work, even from YouTube. Sometimes I go back and like rewatch my videos because I genuinely like them. And I rewatch some of my videos and I'm like, oh my God, I used to do it like that. Wow. Right. Because I find that it's so much better now.
Yeah.
You know? So I feel like you evolve. And if you don't see that change with anything in life, if you don't see improvement or growth, then you're not doing something right.
Right.
Because it's like, that's why I just told you guys, like, congratulations on starting something, because it's so scary to start something. In the beginning, like, you mess up so many times. There's
guys,
so many mistakes.
So sweet. She brought me flowers, okay? I was like, oh, thank you. I felt like I was like in a beauty pageant, like walking my flowers.
I had to.
That was
you
very
gotta show
sweet.
love.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Fellow Hispanic people,
And where are you from?
Cuba. do it.
You know, I was watching a video today because I was just going into your archives. You know, I've watched so many videos of you, but I just was refreshing my mind, and I saw a video that you made in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
She talks excellent Spanish, you guys.
Thank you, babe.
And as I was listening to your accent, I was like, she has to be Cuban.
Really,
I
you noticed
picked
my
it up.
accent.
I picked it up. I was like, she has to be Cuban. She has that. It's like, I don't know. There's just a certain way Cubans talk, and you kind of have it a little bit. And I was able to pick it up.
Oh my God. It's crazy because when I speak Spanish, I try to be as neutral as possible.
You are pretty neutral,
so that people can understand.
Mhm.
Because I feel like when we get with our people, like you Dominicans, when you get with your people, it's like, oh my God. And
it's a whole
Cubans,
other
the same.
language.
Yeah. So it's like when you talk to other people that are not from where you're from,
Mhm.
especially on YouTube, it's so public.
Yeah,
You know, I have to pronounce all my S's and
Mhm.
R's and, you know?
I understand. I do the same thing.
Yeah.
So why did you choose to go English instead of Spanish if your Spanish is so good on social?
My Spanish is good, but I think in English.
I understand completely.
I know it's weird, and I was born in Cuba, so I know how to write, speak. I went to school in Cuba, so I'm very fluent in the language. It's just that when I think in English, and what comes out is English. So when I try to translate it, it's like to do those Spanish videos, I had to Google like, how do you say this? Because I would ask my mom.
Sometimes.
She's like I asked her what blush was. She said colorete, but that's just how Cubans say it. But it's rubor.
Yeah.
You know, so it's one thing is like our slang, and the other thing is how to properly
Yeah.
say
Say it.
something.
Yeah, I
you know,
understand.
that everyone will understand. So
I didn't know you were born in Cuba.
yeah, I was.
So how old were you when you came
That's
here?
what keeps me humble, sis.
Wow. How old were you when you came?
Seven going
okay,
on
so you were
8.
still little.
Yeah,
Which explains why you have such perfect English.
thank you, babe. It's crazy because like I came here so little, but I remember so much. I remember more of my life over there than my childhood here,
Really?
which is so weird.
Did you come to New York?
Yeah. Well, we were in Miami for like a few months, and then we came here because thankfully my aunt was able to like hook up my parents with jobs
Okay.
as soon as we got here. So we kind of settled in New York, in Queens, and we've been living in Queens all our life, basically.
How was that transition for you? Like,
Right? That's very interesting. I didn't know you were in Cuba.
Yeah, it's a crazy transition because being born in a different country, especially a country like Cuba, that is so isolated from everything. Like we don't see anything over there. Like people over there. Well, now things have changed because there's social media.
yeah.
But that came about like in the past, 10 years, I would
Yeah.
say. But before that, like everybody was really isolated. And that is the point of that type of government, to keep people isolated and not aware, informed of what's going on in the world. So people over there, you know, they think that the floor shines and the money grows on trees, and, you know, I mean, not literally,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
so like for my parents was very tough, like the transition, you know. I felt it more like in the language.
Yeah.
It was really hard to transition from like a Spanish class into the classes here.
Yeah.
And I wasn't put in Spanish classes here. I was put straight into English.
Wow.
So it was really tough. I still remember the name of the girl that would always help me. Her name is Lena. She's Colombian.
Wow.
Imagine that. And I was 7. So
Because
that's
it's
the
such
impact.
a huge right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
be in a classroom where you don't understand what anybody's saying.
Not a
it's-
word. I will come home crying
crazy.
every single day. It's so crazy. And I remember so much from Cuba. Like everything. And I've
Can
been
you
back
tell
a few
us a
times.
little bit? Like, how was your childhood? Now I'm curious. How was your childhood? Like, how do you remember it?
Despite like the hardships that people go through over there, like as a child, I remember like the happy moments, you know. But now that I've like, it's crazy because deviating a little bit, every morning when I go to work, like literally, I don't ask for anything. I literally thank God every single morning that I'm heading to work. And I tell this to my parents all the time. It's like, I think about it. What would my life look like if I would have grown up in Cuba? Like as an adult, people have no hope over there.
Wow,
Like,
that's so powerful.
there is no like, oh, I'm gonna start my own business.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
There's no room for entrepreneurship.
There's no opportunity.
Literally, like nothing. Like, okay, opening your restaurant, maybe like that's what people have, and that's now because back then it was illegal.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. I think about that all the time, and I tell my parents, what would not only my life, my brother's life, like where would we be if we were over there? You know.
Right.
And as a child, like I remember so much, but now as an adult, like I've had conversations with my parents. My parents went through a lot over there. Like it's not easy. And you guys don't know half of it. It's tough. Like as a child, when I was over there, obviously it wasn't a big deal. But one of the things that I've always wanted to do was go back and like literally go and donate. But it's so hard to do that because they take away everything from you in the airport. So it's not like it's something that I could literally do unless I could afford to lose everything I take with me, you know?
Or the person get in trouble too, because obviously.
Exactly. But children over there, like they say, oh, Cuba is such a utopia. Medicine is free. Education is free.
So the people over there are oblivious of what's really happening.
No.
Kids?
I feel like it's people in the world that are oblivious and don't know what's going on in Cuba.
Okay.
That's what I feel
because
like
they
it's
see the
happening.
tourist
Cubans
part.
know.
They see,
Okay. No, I thought you
Cubans
were
are
saying
aware.
that people, the kids over there
No.
were saying, okay.
No.
Because they only see the tourism and they're just like, oh, this is beautiful.
Oh,
You guys
it's so
look great.
nice.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like traveling back in time. Yeah.
I do remember, now that you're saying that, I do remember a friend of mine who went over there and felt that way. She was like, it's nice over there. Everybody looks happy. And it made me think, because I was like, are you serious? Like, I didn't think that's what she was going to say.
That is true. You want to know the most beautiful thing in the world? Cubans have something very special. That no matter what they're going through, and that makes me really emotional, my people are so happy.
Nice.
Like, honestly, like that is such, like I take pride in that because no matter what, like, and I've been in Cuba as living in there and as a tourist. I've seen both sides.
Okay.
And it's just crazy because people are, they're happy, but they find happiness in little things. But I feel like it's very sad to live there because you almost feel like that's all there is. Like, that's it. This is life. Like in Spanish, it's like obstinado, que están aburrido de la vida. You know, like it's like almost like they've given up because it's like,
what else can they do?
What else can they do? Like the situation just gets worse and worse and worse. Like I remember as a kid in school, I had no eraser. You want to know what my eraser was?
Wow.
Listen,
you guys.
I had one toy.
Listen. This is why we have to thank God every day for having the opportunities we have here. Because even though we're not in the perfect country, we have so much liberty. It's insane.
Yeah.
Like, I always say that. People here complain about the stupidest shit ever. Like, when I hear people complaining about, like, any little thing, I'm like, dude, I'll send your ass to Cuba for a week.
Let's see how you feel then. Wow, that's powerful. I'm really thankful you're sharing that because it's honestly, some people need to hear it. Like, they need to hear it. Some people are so ungrateful here.
And people are very entitled here too. You know, the entitlement is at its highest.
Yeah.
So I feel like being thankful, number one, for everything for it. I'm talking about not just for like the material things that you have, but like simple things as having like warm water in your house.
Right.
People don't have in my country.
Right.
Like we used to boil water to take a shower. Sometimes we wouldn't have toilet paper. Newspaper was the way to go for us, believe it or not.
Wow.
So be thankful for toilet paper. Be thankful for warm water.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the reality for a lot of people in other countries as well.
But dude, when you think about Cuba, Cuba's like right there.
Yeah.
Like a country like that, an island like that should not be like a third world country.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's literally like so close.
And
like
it's not
imports
big.
and exports could be so easy.
Yeah.
you know, as having things, but they just choose to make their people suffer and control them. And that's how we were too for a really long time. So.
And after, so you said you came here with your mother and father, correct?
And my brother.
And your brother.
Mm-hmm.
You seeing them take that leap and leaving Cuba to come over here, do you feel like that impacted you in like you being able to like go for it and what you're doing? Or do you feel like when you decided to like drop out of college, you felt like they was gonna not judge you, but like you're letting them down because you're pursuing makeup and they're like, you know, the dream for them was probably like, you're gonna go to college, you're gonna get a good degree.
Yeah, that's a great question, babe.
That is a great question.
Yeah, how did
Give yourself a round of applause. That is a great question. So basically, my parents leaving Cuba it's not like they were super like brave and got a boat and came here. That's not how we came here. It's unbelievable how we came here because there was a lottery of visas in Cuba. It's still going on. It's called El Bombo over there.
Okay.
When we leave here, if you could research it, but if anybody wants to research it, it's basically the U.S. was giving a certain amount of visas for people that would write to the government or whatever. It was like one visa or something per year.
Okay.
Among Cubans or whatever, and whoever wrote, like if you would write and send your information in or whatever, you could win. My dad spent all his life doing that.
Wow.
Literally all his life. Everybody would make fun of him. All his friends, his family. What are you doing? That's fake. You're never going to win that. What are you doing? And literally like 20 years later, my dad got a yes and we couldn't believe it.
That's a round of applause right there.
Wow, yes.
No, it's an unbelievable story. It's crazy because like
He was just persistent.
My parents are not the type to get a boat and like risk their lives to come here. No. We would have still been in Cuba if that was the case. They wouldn't have risked their lives like that. So that's life. Like life is so crazy.
It is. It's just you telling me this and it's like, wow, like the stuff that some people have to go through, you know, mentally, you know, the struggle, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like your parents were, like your dad was so persistent in that he wanted to get his family.
In it.
Like
he believed in it. Even as a teenager, he was writing. Like before he even had us.
That's insane.
In his life. He just believed in it. And one day it happened. It's so crazy. And he manifested it.
Definitely.
That goes into like your episode of
Definitely.
manifestation. Like when you manifest, I believe in that too. Like 100%. We always talk about this. Like he always visualized himself here. Because he was always like a lover of like the Beatles and, you know, like all those like bands and stuff. And he always visualized himself here in the U.S. Like living that life.
He did it and he brought his whole family.
Yeah. So
happy
going to your question, no, that wasn't why they didn't basically impact me dropping out of college. That's just me being ballsy. Because I consider myself to be a risk taker. I mean, what is the worst that could happen?
But how did they feel when you decided to do that?
They thought I was crazy.
Right.
But I'm a Taurus. You tell me not to do
I'm
something.
a Taurus too!
No way!
All right, y'all gonna say your birthday in 3, 2,
May 10.
1.
April 29th.
Oh,
April 29th.
okay.
I'm at the ending of April.
I was like, I'm stopping this episode.
I feel like
that's crazy. That's insane. What sign are you?
I'm a Cancer.
You're a Cancer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're what?
July 15th.
July 15th. Okay. Wow. That's crazy.
Does that mean I'm good or bad in your eyes? Because everybody has different.
I've never met a Cancer, actually. You're the first Cancer that I meet.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cancers are loving.
Yeah.
He's a loving person.
Oh. But yeah, no, they thought I was crazy. My dad, more than anything, he's like the more conservative one. He's more of like the cautious one. My mom is a little crazy. She's like, you know, follow your heart. You know, I trust you, you know, your judgment, whatever. And you're very talented. But my dad is more like, oh, you have to have a plan B. Like, he's not that positive. He's a very like pessimistic.
Yeah.
He calls himself a realist, but he's very like pessimistic in a way.
He's thinking about everything that could go
That
wrong.
could go
and how
wrong
can he fix
instead
it.
of
Yeah.
like half full, like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a realist, but I'm also like,
We need to figure it out.
I'll figure it out. Like, when am I not going to do it? I was young. Like, when I decided to do that, I was like in my 20s. So I was like, if I don't do crazy shit in my 20s, then when am I going to do it? When I'm 50 and regret that I didn't do it?
Yeah.
So the worst that could happen is, okay, like, it doesn't work out. I'll go back to college.
That's it.
That's it. Literally.
No
that's
limit
what I told them.
There's no limit on when you can go back.
That's what I told them. I'm like, listen, if it doesn't work out, I could always go back to college, you know? Or I could just do something else. But I couldn't, like, I don't know. I just had to try it because I didn't go for my first passion in life, which was singing. That was my first passion.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but I have terrible stage fright. Like, even sitting here, I'm like shaking.
Oh.
Like, being in front of cameras, and that's a fear I had to get through, like, over being on YouTube. Because, like, even though you're just in front of a camera, you're not...
The fact that you're recording for...
Yeah, it's terrifying. Yeah.
But they say that YouTube and, like, recording stuff is actually easier for introverts because there's nobody really looking at you. So it's like you don't have to...
Yeah, but that's why it might be a little easier than being in front of a real live audience. But the thought of her knowing that it was going live and people were going to be watching was still giving her that fear.
Exactly. So I knew that I didn't go... you know, for my first passion. So I was like, I have to go for this. It doesn't matter like what the outcome is. I have to go for it. There's no ifs, buts.
I've never heard you sing. I'm not going to tell you to do it now. Maybe, do you want to?
What?
Sing. But you're going to have to do a little video for us one day because now you've exposed yourself.
We need a cover.
Everybody,
we need a cover reel.
Everybody, I want you to write down in the comments below that you want this girl to do a little demo for us. I don't know. Put it up whatever she wants. Do a little short for her YouTube.
That's cool.
My boyfriend wants me to do that too, but it's very nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Super nerve-wracking.
Especially now because it's like the internet is just so brutal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, do you really want... You know, people say like, oh, don't pay attention to what the people say, blah, blah. But still, it hurts. Like, if you look at the comment, we was watching a podcast today and he was like, it was Mr. Beast. I don't know if you probably know who he is. And he was saying like, he would read thousands of comments and it'll be like one comment that will be negative. And he'll like, he's like, that's the one that he thinks of.
Mm-hmm. My boyfriend is like that. I'm not. I have very thick skin.
That's good.
Very thick skin. I don't let things affect me. I literally just delete it and move on.
I like to reply, but I'm also
I just tell them, I'm like, don't waste your time.
No, exactly. If someone is, I think about it like this. If somebody, come on, as a happy, fulfilled person, would you spend your time leaving negativity on someone's videos, comments, even if you don't like it?
Right.
Would you waste your time? The answer is no.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. So that person, whoever took their time to leave negativity, they're literally miserable with something, insecure with something in their life. So you addressing that and wasting your good time to do that is just like, why? Like, they don't deserve that. Yeah. That's what I tell my boyfriend. I'm like, because he's like you, like he wants to reply so bad, you know, and like tell him to go himself or whatever.
Right.
But
It's like, you like that too.
I tell him, I'm like, listen, you're a brand.
Yeah.
Like, you have to forget about the hood and whatever and focus that you're a brand now. And you have to carry yourself as such. Right. And people are going to leave negativity. And listen, negativity is very loud. Mm-hmm. But for him, positivity is extremely louder. So I tell him, I'm like, out of like 1,000 comments, you're telling me about one? No. How about you tell me about all the positive things that you got?
Right.
Because that's what I look at.
Yeah.
So it's...
I'm like that too. It doesn't really like affect me when I see like a negative comment towards me because I know who I am.
Exactly.
Like, okay.
I mean, I know who I am too, but I just be like,
I understand what you're saying. I understand.
Sorry.
No, I understand where you're coming from. Like, I totally get it. You know, it kind of como que te da esa pinita, como que like, all right. And you are blah, 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 blah. Let me look at your profile picture, see who the hell you are. But, you know, at the end of the day, I always look at it as, you know what? You must really be having a very bad day. Mm-hmm. Or you just really might not like your life. Exactly. And I just look at it like Gary Vee says, like, I feel sorry for them.
Oh, like, I love Gary Vee.
I love him too.
I stay motivated a lot by following pages like his.
Yes, me too. Me too. Super and so I try to look at it through that lens. It's like, okay, they said something mean, whatever. Sometimes I go as far, like if I want to write back something, I'll go as far as saying like,
Smart ass.
Thank you.
You're a Taurus. I know you're a smart ass.
Thank you. I hope you have a better day tomorrow. Like, you know, or God bless. I'll say something like nice, but you know, like I know that they're gonna look at it and they're gonna be like, ugh.
Yeah.
You know, like, but whatever. You know, I'm not on your level.
Exactly.
Like I'm not on your energy. I'm not just about to try to spend my time trying to explain to you who I am. Like,
exactly.
No, it's okay. We can move on from that.
Mm-hmm. No, it's a waste of time. Like literally the time you spend writing back to negativity, you could spend it writing back to positivity.
Right.
Is all it is. I don't even leave it, honestly. Like if I ever see a negative comment, and I've never received a negative comment towards me, which is surprising, but I've always received, like, I film my clients and stuff, but they say stupid things about like a client or something. And I'm just like, dude, like delete. Like why?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's so dumb and people can be really petty, but anyway.
Sure. Do you record? You don't record all your clients, I'm guessing.
No.
You ask them. I'm pretty sure you have a conversation to see if they want to be recorded. Your videos are stunning. Like when you record,
you could thank my boyfriend for
he
that.
is amazing at that. You know, like he makes such great content when you're doing their makeup. It just really translates very well on YouTube. And I can see why you've been very successful at what you do because. What is there not to like about that content?
It's really a grind.
Everything from the music that you guys select, you know, for the video is just a whole vibe. And if you're a bride to be, and you're looking for a makeup artist, look no further. Like you have her right here. She is amazing. If I would have known about you when I was getting married, I totally would have booked you.
Oh,
totally.
Thank you, Mama. Appreciate that. Oh, so cute.
Yeah, I'm just saying the truth.
Thank you.
Let's go back to when you had your first client. Do you remember how you felt that day?
Oh, it was nerve-wracking, especially because it was my first bride.
Did you feel like when you were done, did you feel like you did the best you could?
Mm-hmm.
You did? Okay, good.
Absolutely. That's the thing about me. Like, I take so long with my clients because I need to make sure I am doing my best. And I'm the type of person, like, if I see something crooked, a hair out of place, like something, I'll be like, no, come back here, and I'll fix it. Like, I won't let my client get out of my chair until it's perfect.
Yeah.
I don't care who's rushing me.
I was like that too.
Mm-mm.
It's
They
like
have to
that's
look
my
perfect.
work. That needs to look good when it's out there. Like,
and if they mess something up after I'm done with the makeup, I'm like, don't tag me.
That wasn't my finished product.
Exactly.
Yeah,
100%. 100%. It's crazy. Going back to that question you asked earlier, like my parents wanted to kill me when I wanted to to leave college. You brought back those memories. I was like, oh crap, what am I doing?
I imagine because I wasn't born in any situation like you where I was born here. And at one point I was a little lost in terms of, you know, like what I was studying in college. And so I was just going to college and I think I was taking liberal arts. I had no major. And I was like, I'm paying for this. Like, I'm just going to come here with no purpose. And I dropped out of that college because I was like, okay, I still don't know what I want. And my mom, she was going crazy. She was calling everybody, can you please call Jessica and give her some advice? Because she just dropped out of college. And she thought it was like over for me.
Your life is over.
And I was like, mommy.
Parents are like that.
Right. And especially back for us, we kind of are like that first generation from people that came from other countries that were like in that college era. So to them, it was like, oh no, if my child doesn't go to college, it's over for them. Like they're not going to have a good future. And I was just like, mommy, just relax. You know, you just need to give me some time so that I can get my thoughts together and see what it is that I want to study. Because it makes no sense for me to go to college. This is not free. I have to pay for this.
And for me personally, I feel like it was a huge mistake going to college.
Yeah.
Like from the get-go. I feel like I wasted my time and my money. Like I put myself in debt tremendously because my parents couldn't afford to help me.
Right.
But yet their income counted towards financial aid. So I received nothing.
Wow.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's something that they should change, you know, in the education system because most like minority kids, their parents can't afford to pay for their education. Like my parents, like they would have loved to, but they weren't, when they got here, they weren't financially savvy.
Right.
You know, they didn't have financial education. So they made a lot of mistakes and, you know, they didn't save for my college. It's not something that is done in Spanish households at all. I feel like from our generation forward, we would do that, you know, but it's not something that they did, and they couldn't afford to pay for my college, and I had to pay my way through college, and I feel like it was one of the worst mistakes I've made, but the thing is that I always wanted to own my own business. Like ever since I was in high school, I was in the business program. Like I had I don't like being told what to do. I hate being told what to do. So I always wanted to have my own business. And ever since I was a teenager in high school, I was thinking of business ideas with my best friend. Like it started from back then.
So you definitely made a mistake by going to college and studying.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's probably why you chose business. You said your associates in business, right?
Yeah, my associate's degree was business
I
administration.
guess associates kind of make sense because, that gives you some knowledge, on accounting and like some basic knowledge that you need to have a business.
It's funny you say that because that's actually the only class in the whole thing, in my whole curriculum that actually helped me in my business. That made sense for me in my business. So that goes to show you.
Yeah, there's a lot of classes that are just like...
No, and you feel, I don't know how it was for you, but like in college, you almost feel like you're teaching yourself because they give you like, I forgot what that's called. The
curriculum?
The syllabus. They give you the syllabus, yeah. With like what's going to be covered the whole semester, the books that you need. And then the professor literally like half-ass teaches like
I had a lot of those, yeah. Whereas you would just go in there, they give like they talked for a little bit and then they would just make you work on your own. And it's like, it's true. But I did have some professors, but it's not all of them. That I did have some professors that were very dedicated and they would stay in front of the class like throughout the whole class and explain things, really explain everything that was on the book and everything. But you don't get that with everybody.
100%.
It's a struggle. I don't say that college isn't needed because it is for certain things, but depending on what it is that you want to be, you might not need that much.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And some of us have wasted way too much time and money
100%
in college,
Like I always tell my brother, I'm like, listen, like don't be that parent because he expects his kids to always bring straight A's and which is fine.
Right.
That's fine. But I'm younger than him by 9 years. So he also thought I was crazy when I decided to drop out of college.
Okay.
Because he's very conservative too. My brother's a very like conservative guy too. But that's why I told them, I'm like, listen, if one of them, my niece wants to be a surgeon. So she has to go to college.
Right.
She has to.
There's no way out of that one.
Yeah, there's no way out of that one. But let's say she changes her mind and doesn't want to be a surgeon, She wants to do something else. Like, let them be. I told them, like, don't discourage them.
Yeah.
Like,
I completely agree. I think times have changed and we really need to think about college in a different light.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it served its purpose. Like back in the day, people would go to college and that paper and that degree would get them excellent jobs that would give them fulfilling lives. Today, that's not the case for everybody.
Especially
college doesn't guarantee you an excellent job. There's plenty of people out here with college degrees who can't find a job.
Well,
Girl,
especially because of the
them.
money too. Like now, if you're going to college and you're not racking up so much to that's a different story.
Right.
Like, okay,
Right.
go to college.
Yeah.
Right.
But to go to college for a degree, let's say you go in that $200,000 and the career's paying you $50,000 a year,
Right.
like what's the purpose of that?
It has to make sense.
you're essentially getting out of college to potentially get a good job to pay back that debt your entire life.
Right.
Because that accrues interest too.
And you might not even like it when you start
And
working the
you
actual
may
job.
not even like it, which was the path that I was in. That from business administration, I chose finance and banking, and I was going towards, because I have a passion for finances. My parents went through a lot with finance. It impacted me in such a way that I'm very financial savvy, and I think that that's a priority that should be taught in school.
That should be a priority for everybody.
For everybody. Like finances is your number one thing that everybody should know. Like I literally have conversations with my 14-year-old niece about finances.
Yeah.
I told my brother, like, put her under your credit to start building her credit from now. Like he never thought about that. I'm like, dude, get with the program. I always send him things because I don't have kids, but my niece and my nephew are like my kids too. I love them like that. So I always like send him things. I'm like, listen, do this, do that, do this. Like I keep him with the finances,
keeping on his toes.
It's very, very important. Very, very important.
So we're 50 minutes in, but
wow.
We don't.
Es que la conversación está buena.
I know, but what I want to say is we haven't said congratulations to her.
For what? About my class?
She's pregnant.
Where's the one?
I'm sorry.
Damn, I didn't find wood.
She was published.
About the
yes,
nut. Oh, yes. So, that's something else that I wanted to talk to you about. So, you were awarded Best Makeup Artist.
Best of Weddings for 2020, 2021, and I think I'm winning 2022 also.
Nice.
Yeah. Pero hello.
Hello.
Thank you, guys.
She deserves it. She deserves it.
Thank you.
And how does that for future or for aspiring makeup artists? What advice would you give them? Like for someone who's starting out, who doesn't know where to start, what advice would you give them?
That's so tough. That's a very good question. The best advice that I could give anybody, not just makeup artists, but just anybody when you're starting to do something is make sure that you are doing the best you can at doing something as perfect, as close as possible.
Right.
Like give it your all, give it 100%. Like if you're trying to do something, and I've seen a lot of makeup artists because I'm in the field, right? Like they finish the makeup and then you see one brow higher than the other, a lash like sticking up. That drives me crazy.
Right.
Like if you want to be successful, you have to look
Pay
at those
attention to
things and you
detail.
have to pay. Yeah, I stare at my clients. I'm like, don't let this get awkward, but I stare at them and I make sure everything is perfect. And that's what will set you apart from the rest. Those little details, because they're going to take pictures that they're going to frame in their houses and then they're going to have a lash just sticking up, an eyebrow higher than the other. Like,
And you know they're going to look at themselves in the mirror and say, oh my God, look at how this makeup artist just left it. No,
Exactly.
it's really unacceptable.
exactly. And that's the number one advice. Like, make sure that you're giving it your all. Don't half-ass anything. Like, that's one thing my parents taught me. If you're going to do something, give 120,000%. If not, don't do it at all.
I agree.
So I'd rather sit in my couch and watch TV than half-ass something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I don't have time for anything, because I decided to go full throttle with my business, and now I manage my boyfriend's business too. So it's like we're always working. And that's kind of why my YouTube kind of fell back a little bit, because as you guys know, it's very difficult
Yes, it
to
is.
make money on YouTube.
Yeah.
It is very, very
And
difficult.
to stay consistent, because it's not so short form video, you know, it's
Exactly.
a longer format of video. So you have to put a little bit more effort into the editing and all that stuff. So
It's a lot of effort, a lot of time that goes in. And like for example, like from 2019 to 2021, like I was literally working from Thursday through Sundays, weddings every single day. And then Monday was quote unquote my day off. But I'm the type of person that if I'm sitting down trying to rest and I'm thinking about all of the things that I have to do, I can't rest. I have to get up and I have to do them. Like, so it's like my day off, but I'm like running errands and, you know, doing everything. And then Tuesday and Wednesday answer like all the inquiries that have piled up throughout the whole weekend. And it's like there was no time for YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So my boyfriend was filming and then he was editing my videos. But I still, as a control freak tourist, I had to go through it one last time. And make sure that it was perfect, you know? The good thing about YouTube is that YouTube gives you like status because people know you from all over the world, right? So it gives you that status as, you know, as a vendor in my case, you know, as a content creator and everything. But like, for example, I feel like when I was doing YouTube, I feel like I was just giving free information.
I understand.
You know what I'm saying? Like just there instead of doing classes.
Yeah.
True.
That's why I started doing the classes.
Yeah.
And the payoff is like unbelievable.
With the classes.
Yes. And I'm still doing what I love. I'm still teaching because I do love teaching people. Like that's something that I really love doing. That's
Do you
why
have
I
any classes
continue.
coming up?
Yeah, on November 16th.
Are you Are you completely booked?
No, not yet.
People, November 16th.
Not
She's
yet,
doing
not
a
yet.
makeup class. So if you guys are interested,
Thank you.
hit her up.
And you always post it on your socials, right? That you're doing.
Constantly, every single day. So I feel like, people always tell me like, oh, I miss you on YouTube. But the thing is that I post a regular vlog or like regular content, and the engagement is not
As
like
high.
all they want is bridal. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's like your niche right there.
Yes, I put myself in a
And then-
niche. That's the thing.
But that's good.
It is. In a way, it's good.
Because what you could do now, niche
That's
down.
some advice.
Yeah, niche down on like maybe not making so long form content, make it shorter, but add affiliate links.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
That's what I do. Yeah.
But just make them short, even short, because people's attention right now is like, so like one video, like this is hands down the best foundation for bridal. Like that's a video, 5 to 10 minutes, because you're not focused on making money on AdSense. You're focused on making money on affiliate.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you make it too long, people right now is not watching 20, 30 minutes on a foundation. So it's like make it quick, and
like
you
a
never
short
know.
form kind of video.
Yeah, like branch off from the bridal content. Yeah. But I feel like if it's not like literally a whole bridal makeup look, I've tried what you said, but the thing is that if it's not a whole bridal look, like they don't watch. So it's like when they tell me, I miss you on YouTube, I'm like, no, you just miss my bridal videos. You don't miss me. Because I post a vlog, like a travel vlog or whatever, and it gets like 10K views. I post a bridal video, it goes viral.
Yeah, you
get what I'm saying?
Always looking.
So
like, yo.
it's the free information that people like.
yeah.
But though you say you're doing classes though, so
Yes.
like you never know which one goes viral, and it's pulling. Maybe it's not pulling you views, but it's pulling you.
That's
people.
the thing with YouTube. It's like
We would not be here if it wasn't for YouTube.
That is very true.
So
Yeah.
like YouTube, maybe it's not paying you, but it's opening doors.
Yes.
So it's like
absolutely.
Yeah,
No,
that's-
I'm gonna come back. I didn't quit YouTube. I just needed a break
yeah.
because it was impossible for me to do at the time. I feel like now I'm giving myself more like free time. Like I'm
Yeah.
not taking as many weddings.
Okay.
I have a team now, so I'm not working like with that many girls. Like
Oh, that's
before, I
great.
used to work like 8 girls by myself.
That's a lot.
Yes.
Tú llegabas
Muerta.
matadísima.
she used to like
Muerta.
9 people. I used to like
Oh my God.
Muerta.
That people don't think about it. Like
It's a
It-
lot.
I stopped taking so many people at one time because yo llegaba and my back was burning.
And your arm too.
Like I would get in that car when Babe would pick me up after doing like 7, 9 people, and I would just be like,
yeah. Like the soul, the soul comes out of you. And it's
tough.
It gets to a point that like I remember 2021 was my toughest and most successful year because the 2020 brides that canceled, well, not canceled, rescheduled due to I tried to accommodate all of them for 2021 in addition to my 2021 brides. So it was just wedding after wedding.
That was
after wedding.
wild.
The whole entire year. When January and February came, I did not leave my house for 2 months.
Oh my God.
I was done.
I believe you.
Done.
That is
like
very exhausting.
I crashed. I said for 2022, I'm not taking that many people. I just can't like the money's great, the success is great, but my health has to
Your
be great
body.
too. Like it's crazy. Like I had gained so much weight. That's also why I stopped doing YouTube
Okay.
because it's like I was taking like the time for YouTube, and then during the pandemic, everybody freaking gained weight,
Yeah.
and it was just crazy. Like the lifestyle, it was so sedentary, and I was, as a makeup artist, I'm sure you know, it's like you work, you don't eat the whole day,
Yeah.
and then you stuff your face when you finish working.
Yeah.
And that was basically me. And then I was doing YouTube, and then I was editing. I had no time to like go to the gym, focus on myself. I was like, no, I'm not doing that anymore.
Now that you're saying that, I want to take the time to make sure that you guys know this is why makeup artists charge what they charge. Do not question why they're charging so much. Or I know that someone that does it cheaper. Hey, everybody has a level.
Mm-hmm.
And if you like the work of a certain makeup artist and you think it's too pricey, maybe it's too pricey for you. Maybe it is.
That's not your customer.
yeah.
It's a lot of work. You guys might think that, oh, it's just makeup. She's just putting makeup on my face. It's like, No, especially when you're doing a wedding and you're doing multiple people. Like, think about, yes, she's doing something she loves, but it's something that she has to put a lot of energy and effort into from the moment she wakes up, from the day before, prepping everything that she needs to take to your wherever it is that she's meeting your bridal group. She needs to be prepping from the day prior to that day. So always think about that. Always have that in mind before you judge a person for charging too much money for what they do, because it does take a lot.
Yeah. And when lo barato sale caro. That's what I've always said. And as a business, you have to brand yourself accordingly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So if you don't brand yourself, if you don't market yourself, if you don't price yourself as a luxury or as a high-end business,
you'll never be. People will just see you like the person who charges least for.
Yeah.
I'll go to her because ella la me cobra menos.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
No.
Listen, I remember for my wedding day.
You want the best. You don't want the cheapest.
I remember for my wedding day, I was looking for the best. I didn't care what she was going to charge me.
Who did your makeup, actually, for your wedding?
Her name was Makeup by Diana, I think it was. Makeup by Diana. I don't know if she's doing
By
it.
any chance, did she work in MAC?
I think she did.
I think I know her.
She was my makeup artist for my wedding.
I know her. Is she like Asian, like Filipino or something like that? Yeah. She actually reached out to me to be part of my team.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but I have already like the team booked.
She's good. She's good. I really loved her work when I came across her. And I was looking for someone who did a good job. I was not looking for the cheapest person because at that time I already did my makeup, but I didn't want to do my own makeup on my wedding. I wanted someone.
When did you guys get married? What year?
2016.
Oh, 2016. Oh, yeah. Bridal makeup wasn't like as crazy as it is now back then either.
Right. So I had to really search.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, how much is it? And it was like whatever her price was, I was willing to accept it because I loved her work so much that to me, it was more important that I knew that the person I hired was going to leave me feeling beautiful and fulfilled instead of me just going for the person who charged me the least. And God forbid, she was done with my face and I'm like, oh my God, I hate how I look. On your wedding day?
Yeah.
It's the trust.
Right.
Like I've always been the type of person and I don't mind my picky clients. Like I love my picky clients because I've learned the most from my picky clients. And I am a picky client. Like I go do my feet and I'm like, un poquito más. Like a little bit, a little more square, and they'll learn from me.
Yeah.
I'll be their lesson because and I always tell, that's another advice. Don't talk shit about your clients. Especially publicly.
Absolutely.
Especially. I see a lot of that. Like people complaining about their clients publicly. And I feel like if the client is complaining, look at yourself in the mirror because you're not doing something right.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
Absolutely.
Because I don't get that.
Yeah.
I don't get that. And if I ever do, the customer is correct.
Yeah.
I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I have to fix myself.
Yeah. But that's why, and also because you say you're a picky yourself, right? When you pay for a service, you're expecting a certain type of expertise from their part, because you're like that. That's probably what makes you be the perfect makeup artist that you are, because it's like you in your head are like, what would I want?
Exactly.
I always felt that way when I was doing makeup on clients. It's like, I want them to feel fulfilled paying their money.
Yes,
I don't want them to walk out and feel like, ay, tanto dinero que me cobró y hizo una porquería.
Exactly.
No, I want you to walk out and feel happy.
I feel like me and you are like the same person. It's actually creepy.
It's the truth though.
Yeah.
Well, I was like that too with photography. It was
definitely.
I used to always overdo it. I'm like,
no, you're nasty with them videos. I gotta give yourself another round of applause. No, you're good. You're really good. Like I thought you were a professional, like videographer or photographer or something, based on like her videos.
He made himself, in my opinion. He made himself.
I am for myself, I guess. Right?
That's amazing. That's amazing because we went to and that's a lot of hard work too, because like my boyfriend and I are each other's like photographer and videographer.
Okay.
So 2 nights ago, getting pictures in Times Square, you have to go in La Madrugada during the weekday.
I hate it.
You have to. So we went a freaking 1 a.m. on I think it was Wednesday. We were there for 5 hours just shooting him.
Wow.
For his clothing line. And it was
he has a
just like,
clothing line.
yeah, he does.
What is it?
He brought up merch for his YouTube.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So it's going amazing. Like everything he comes out, he sells out.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. So now
That's
we're like
amazing.
expanding into like making it a clothing line.
Fire.
We're still thinking about like the name.
Yeah.
You know, it's tough to come up with a name. That's
Was
not-
it? Is it the name? His name right now, or
right now? It's like the website rockandYC.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, shooting is not easy.
It's not.
It's definitely not
It's
easy. So
not.
my hat goes off to photographers and videographers. And let me tell you, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good to not be a photographer. So I took pride in my work. But it was but yeah, like when I see your videos and stuff, like you do a great job.
Thank
Both
you.
of you do a great job.
Thank you. Well, the video
It's
stuff is
awesome.
more my husband than me. You know, I'm just preparing for what we're gonna do in the video. He prepares all the editing and the stuff. You know,
That's good. That's good.
he's the one informed about cameras. I know nothing about that stuff.
so? Where can the people find you? What you got going on?
YouTube, Makeup by Jen, Instagram, Makeup by Jen, XIIXIIX. No, I don't even know how many X's I have.
XII. I
Yes.
studied this before we got here.
Yeah, Roman numerals at the end, Makeup by Jen.
We'll put it on the screen as
Yeah.
well.
I'm basically everywhere. That's the key to a business. Put yourself everywhere. That's another advice. I'm on the Knot. I'm on Google. Everywhere. Like as a business, you got to put yourself everywhere
Yeah.
for people to find you.
Market yourself.
Everybody. Mm-hmm. 100%. This was fun. I knew it was gonna be fun.
Yeah?
Yeah. I knew it.
To close, where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
So we could have you
I
5
hope
years
I could
in.
buy my house before 5 years, right?
I hope that for you too.
I hope so. Obviously still a makeup artist because I feel like even if I'm a millionaire, I'll still do at least one wedding a month because I love it so much. Like when you find something that you could do even if you're rich,
Yeah.
filthy rich, that's
you
it.
found
you
your
found the
purpose,
one.
your passion. Have you ever
Absolutely.
thought of quitting? I guess not, right?
Quitting?
Never.
That's not in my book, sis.
Ah.
Not in my book. I don't quit. I don't quit. You keep going. No
That's
matter
amazing.
what. When you love something, you keep going, whether that's career, relationship, anything.
And you keep doing your thing because you're doing amazing.
Likewise.
And I cannot wait to see where life takes you
Thank you, likewise.
because this is amazing. I don't know. These connections we're making here on this podcast, I just thank you, God.
No, I love it for real because I've seen the other episodes with the other guests and it's always like good energy.
Yeah.
So that's really nice.
We're trying to keep it that way. That's we want positive vibes here on the Elevate podcast.
Only.
So if you see a guest here, you best believe we have positive vibes from that person because otherwise they would not be sitting there.
Seriously. No, it's tough to let people enter your space,
Yeah.
especially
Absolutely.
like whether it's your home or your place of work, whatever it is, like with bad vibes.
We're very big on that.
Yeah.
We want to protect our space and our energy. That's very
Yep.
important for us.
Like
So,
no amount of followers you have, like if your vibe is off,
Same.
absolutely.
I won't post this podcast.
No
Let me stay
shade,
here for
but
an hour, ma.
no shade,
You ain't
pero
going
you know,
nowhere.
fix your vibes first. You know.
Come
Anyways.
correct. Yes.
That's it for today's podcast. Thank you so much for coming,
Thank
Jen.
you guys for having me. It
We
was
had
a
an amazing
pleasure.
time.
Likewise, truly. And it's so natural and so organic. And I knew it was going to be like this. I knew it. It was so amazing.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for having me.
That's it for today's podcast, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you're here on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Leave your comments down below. Leave your questions, any suggestions down below. Don't forget to hit the like button if you're still watching. And if you're listening, don't forget to leave us a review. We don't have a review yet on Spotify or I know on
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts,
please,
all podcasts.
please leave us your reviews. It really helps our account. And here on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and like. That's it for today's podcast. That's it. Have a good one. Until next time.
Peace.
Oh, that was so cool. Oh, and by the way, I was going to tell you guys, I love your dancing videos. I forgot to say that. Girl, you guys have to do. I thought about this because I saw Romeo reposted you guys.